G'day, friendos. For those that know me, know that I have an issue. And no, that issue isn't my crippling anxiety or my irrational fear of hiccups. No. No. It's Outback SteakHouse Extreme. Outback Steakhouse is a scam. I've only known about Outback Steakhouse for a couple of years, and that's mostly because I don't have any in my state. But people would come in and once they realize I'm Australian and say, hey man, I've been to Outback Steakhouse. It's fantastic. It's great. I love it. I love Outback Steakhouse. Australian food is fantastic. Aussie. Which leads me to my next point of what is Australian food? I barely even know about it myself. There's like 7 things that I can possibly think of off the top of my head. Not even. I had to do a little deep dive myself to actually find out what Australian food was. And even looking at Australian food, it's not really Australian food. It's food that already exists that we've kind of just like taken the concept of and made our own a little bit, you see. For example, just straight away, chicken parmigiana. That's already not a food that's Australian. We just chuck cheese on it and some Italian sauce and then go and bam, it's an Australian food. Meat pie, again, not really. Barramundi is a fish that happens to be local. Lamington, they're pretty cool. You know, snags, that's nothing new. That's really not. None of these things are new besides maybe the pavlova. You know, again, the burgers, not really. The grilled kangaroo is, again, local. Vegemite on. Now, no one can complain about Vegemite on toast. Vegemite on toast is absolutely fantastic. And Tim Tams. They're fantastic. They are fantastic. They are a great staple. But again, it's not really a food. I wouldn't recommend living off Tim Tams, you know. Which leads me to my next point. How does an Australian themed styled food restaurant exist ever anywhere? Because it's a scam. Now, you're probably already wondering, Tim, how can you bloody say that it's sucky if you haven't already been there? I don't care. I really don't care. I haven't been there. I don't have them in my state. I'm not traveling interstate to go try them. I've heard it's probably not. I've heard it's not bad. Good for them. But it's not Australian, man. That's the point I'm trying to get to, I guess. That's the point I'm trying to get to. All I'm assuming the wait staff probably go, "G'day, mate. How you going? What would you like? Would you like a shrimp on the bar?" Oh my God, that's one of the things. Of course, there's a menu item called. You know what, let's go. We'll have a look at the menu. Let's go have a look at the menu. I'll show you. Now, I couldn't even go in to Outback Steakhouse's official menu, the US menu now, because I wanted to see the original, you know, the origin story of this restaurant, because it is an American-owned restaurant. But I couldn't even get access to it for some weird reason. I don't know why, but there it is. I had to go ask a friend of mine who obviously lives in the US to send me screenshots of the menu, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at, because I cannot physically go get them myself. USA. So just immediately, straight off the bat, I've looked everywhere for this place. Kingsland. I couldn't find it. I honestly couldn't find it. I could find tiny little places, but I could not find a Kingsland. So I'm just going to assume that Kingsland immediately is just, you know, a clever play on Queensland, for example. I'm not 100% sure. Queensland chicken, shrimp, and pasta. If you're getting chicken from Queensland, it is 100% frozen. So I'm going to assume it's not, unless they're serving frozen food, which they wouldn't have been in business too long, you know, for the same reason. And the Alice Springs chicken. Now, Alice Springs is literally in the middle of the desert. The desert. They get things flown in mostly to them because it's the desert. It's kind of a lie, but you see the point that I'm getting at. You see the point that I'm getting. You're not eating frozen Alice Springs chicken. It's just not, it's not a thing. It's not happening. Shrimp on the barbie. Now, because of an ad,
shrimps on the barbie,
a few hundred years ago, we are still paying for this. I have never had a grilled shrimp on the barbie or a shrimp on the barbie. I've never we call them prawns. I've never had a shrimp on the barbie. I've never had one. I don't know anyone who has. I'm sure that someone somewhere has, but again, it's not a thing. We did an ad one time where we've been regretting it ever since.
Just been telling the Yanks how Australia is the best place for a holiday and the friendliest place on earth. The beaches are crisp and clean, beer's cold, and there's plenty of shrimps on the barbie.
Yeah. The perfectly grilled salmon.
Silly salmon?
Honestly, you'd expect it to be perfectly grilled.
Salmon?
I'd hope it would be. You know, you'd hope you'd be doing your best every time that you cook something. I really don't get it. Now, fucking Toowoomba. Holy moly. I looked. I had a little squizzle. I looked at this place and there was like 3 rivers. Condom River, Cecil Plains Weir, and Murphy's Creek. What is that? Fuck? We're not catching fresh Atlantic, what was it, salmon?
Silly salmon?
Toowoomba salmon. We're not catching salmon in these little creekies. Like, okay, the river might be reasonable. We can all agree the river here is reasonable. you know. But again, we're not getting an entire Outback Steakhouse chain food supply from this absolute small river. It's the middle of nowhere. Couldn't even figure it out. I couldn't. Oh dear. Oh, here we go. Oh, Aussie Tizers. You. That's a legendary play on words. You can appreciate Aussie Tizers, right? Everyone can get around an Aussie Tizer. Bloomin' fried onion. I don't know what it is. Honestly, without the description sitting there, I would not know what a bloomin' fried shrimp onion is. I really don't know. I've never had one. I'm sure they're delicious. I don't know. Now this one really trips me out. Kookaburra wings. Kookaburra wings. Kookaburra wings. It's not kookaburra. I just straight away, it's not a kookaburra. You can't eat kookaburra. You can't eat them here. I don't know if you've got your own kookaburras that it's not. I just know it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not. You can't do it. It's like eating a bald eagle. It's a national bird. You can't eat a kookaburra. I don't know why it's sitting on the menu. I don't get it. And also with a 2-second Google, Australia is fortunate enough to have a large number of native bird species, and all native birds are protected. So I don't know where these, I don't know, kookaburra! I don't know where you're getting the kookaburras from. I really couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I don't know why you'd want to eat the kookaburra. What a majestic, absolute gorgeous little pretty bird. Why would you want to, why? Just to go down the menu, just a smooge of beyond kookaburra as well. The Gold Coast coconut shrimp. Again, if it's frozen, right? I don't know why you'd be bragging about it. I just don't understand it. Also, I just realized they have little boomerangs because it's super Australian, I guess. And I just, oh dearie me. Now I can really appreciate this one. The Coldies on tap. Now we call a beer a Coldie. You know, the end of a long day, you get a Coldie in here. You know what I'm. But this one is just absolutely majestic. This one is fantastic. Coldies on tap, MIDI, correct sizing. Now the big bloke. Now, obviously, the big bloke, you got a big cup. We usually call it a schooner, but I guess, you know, changing it to big bloke for the menu item would have just looked fantastic. There is only one Australian beer here that I can actually see, which is the Foster's Lager. Every other beer on there is not Australian. We have so many beers. I'm not a beer drinker, but there is so many beers. There is way too many beers in Australia. We have a lot of them. Now, the sweet sriracha chicken bites, that sounds absolutely divine. Again, I have not even had sriracha before in my life. That's not Australian, is it? I don't think it's Australian. I don't think it's Australian. Bone-in ribeye, again, sounds fantastic. Bourbon onion. What is a bourbon onion? It's just an onion soaked in bourbon, I'm assuming. But the koala punch. Now, that's got to be the most fantastic thing out of all of these things. The koala punch. Who doesn't like a koala punch? Now, that's just fun.
Got the drop bear suit on.
Probably the best thing on this menu. Everything else is absolutely a horrible betrayal of the Australian food economy. It is terrible. Economy. There is none. I could honestly sit here and go on about this. And I have gone on about this on stream a few times, and I will continue to go on about this because it is an issue. I don't know why I have such an issue with it, but I do. It's you could have a couple of more. You could have more Australian things on the menu. There's not really okay. You could have 3 more things. It's just the whole thing's just a scam. There's no Australian food. There shouldn't be a restaurant existing around Australian food. It's a scam. The whole thing's a scam. It's a scam. You're not eating Australian food. You're eating food that exists in the world. Holy moly, I almost forgot one fantastic menu item, but I think Stream Tim can explain it better than I can myself.
Outback Steakhouse has a new 3-course meal called the Aussie. With soup or salad. Any of our 5 bold and flavorful entrees to choose from. And New York-style cheesecake for dessert.
Why?
New York? That's not in Australia.
No shit! Yeah, so you get the point. There is, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. That's all I have to say. Please subscribe, go eat somewhere else, and good luck. Enjoy.